All right, welcome. What I want to do real quick is just recap what we did in week one. Hopefully I can do that in a couple minutes in case you missed it. So one of the tools we used was the answer pad. And this was, again, a way to quick get information and assessments from students throughout the course of the class. So once I logged in here with my name, I'm going to click on Interactive Quick Connect. And I'm going to get this code up top here. And I'm going to take this code and I'm going to use it to log into Firefox on the side. Once I have the code in here, I'm going to click the connect. And I'm going to log in, and that should show up here in the classroom. So if I come back to the other site, here I am. Now if I choose the question, true or false question, I didn't ask the question yet, I'm just going to ask it in class. And as it comes up here, the students are waiting for the question. I'm going to push this out to the students, to the teacher view. So now if I go back to the student view, and if the question was, true or false, you're in answer pad right now, I would hit true. And when I come back to the teacher view, once I hit submit, when I come back to the teacher view, I can see I can see that Bobby replied and he replied true. Now, you can also provide a little feedback here with some text and a few things, but that's about the extent of it. And the questions that you can choose from are the ones that are over here to the right-hand side. And that is the free version. There's a couple other tools over here that I haven't gotten into, but this is how I use it, and I like to use it briefly in class in that way. Next, I want to move on to a recap. Okay, so again, here in recap, I'm just going to come in to log in, and it's probably going to log me automatically. And I'm going to come to the class that we were in, Summer Formative Assessment. I'm going to get the join pin to share with everybody, share with my students. And I'm going to take this pin, and I'm going to, as a student, I'm going to log into the class. So I'm going to go ahead and come over here to the student section, say I'm a student, and I'm going to do this pin. I'm going to come up here and create my information before I sign in real quick. Now, same thing as before, it won't let me log in as a student because I'm already using my email address here. Now I just want to go through a couple things with you. This is recap 2.0, but the old recap is it allowed me to ask a question, and I pose that question out to people, and when that question is asked, I can put a time limit on those questions, and I can go through and view what the students have said. So if I want to come here and say get responses, I want to know if students are understanding what we just did in class. I can create that. I can come up top here and name that as whatever I want that recap to be. That's my first question. I can ask that question, and then I can hit next, or I can record a video of me saying, do you understand what's going on in class? Can you please state and record your video? And when I go to next here, I want this to go to just this class. How long do I want their recordings to be? And when do I want to do by? This is just here if the students want to assess themselves by, giving you a thumbs up, thumbs down, and so forth. Now, when I send this out, okay, let me come back here real quick. If I send this out and the responses, once students start responding, I receive their videos here and I can view what they said. The great thing about this is that it's here for me to go back and look at and so forth. The new thing about recap is the recap 2.0. Which is where students, you can pose questions and add different journeys to this, which is a little bit more detail, but it's something that I also think that we can do in Schoology. So I just want to quickly show you what they're talking about here. Now the journey allows students to, go here through YouTube and find different avenues of finding resources, more resources, dealing with the topic, whatever it may be, which is great. I think that's a great addition to recap. And I've used it this year, just like I said, just for the responses with getting formative assessment in class, and students doing this outside of class as well. So that's what I use it for. But like I said, the journey and creating a journey and getting formative assessment that way, I think is also a great tool that they've used and continue to adapt and develop here. The last tool that I want to talk about real quick is Quizziz. Now, Quizziz is just like Kahoot, but I think it's more developed and more interactive, and I think they've just taken time to actually update it as they've been going along. Quizziz is something where if you take a look here, this is just a video I've created before, but the great thing about this is that it's the same thing as Quizziz. They can enter a code. What I love about this is that when you click on an assessment in Quizziz, you can create your own if you want, just like Kahoot, but I love how it shows you beforehand what the questions are if you're viewing some that are in the library. Another thing with Quizziz, as we move forward here, is that once you come in here to create your quiz, like I said, you can see what's here, how you like it, and so forth, what's set up. And this part is what I really like in the sense of we've done it in class with multiple students on a team. I've had 2 kids on a team, and what we've done here is I showed the leaderboard. Okay, so down here I was able to show who was moving forward, how many students still needed to finish questions, and so forth. And I thought that was a great tool with that. It wasn't really being demeaning to students, but it was essentially being allowing students to be more those competitive students in class to be able to look up and see like, oh my gosh, I guess what we got to do, and so forth. But it also allowed people to work at their own pace because I was going off of accuracy as well. And once students went in to actually play the quiz, it was no different than Quizziz. But the one thing that I did like about this is that it showed me how many students were getting things right and wrong, and it was able to show me like where I was at here on the board with my questions. I'm going to see if I can move forward here a little bit in this video, just to the end here. And the great thing about this, like I said, this showed me my assessment in the sense of what we did right, what we did wrong, and just on the number of questions that I got wrong. The great thing about this, though, was that it allowed me the data that it provided me with here. And I was able to extract this data if I wanted to. Up top, there was a spot where I can download this to Excel. It showed me what questions the student got wrong. So it was really good with providing me with data. And it was something that I really enjoyed and I thought was very helpful to provide to administrators or just myself and see how the students has been progressing or digressing. So it was a great tool for me. And like I said, Quizziz is something else that I think is very useful and very helpful. So hopefully, like I said, it's allowed you to have a little bit better understanding of what we did that week 1 with Quizziz, the answer pad, and recap. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.